It's alright, it's okay. There's something to live for. Jesus told me so.
What's up, everybody? Back again with another video review, and this time I watched Drive. Now, Drive is a movie about a character known only as the driver, who is a mechanic, stuntman, small-time criminal, and he kind of finds love and finds how to become a human as he's kind of introverted, and where that takes him, both in terms of, himself and the people around him. Now, there are movies that have style and there are movies that have substance. A lot of people seem to think that Drive holds the style aspect in a much higher regard than the substance aspect. There are people that dislike the movie for that reason. And those people are fucking stupid. Jesus, I took my wife to see this on opening night, and as we were leaving, she said it was boring and pointless and that she hated it. And I told her that she was a fucking moron, and for a while I contemplated divorce. Now, if I had to sum up Drive, it's basically a music video. A really poignant, dark, brutal, awesome music video. Now, the reason I say this is like a music video is because it's kind of shot that way. It's kind of framed that way. You have very long, drawn-out scenes with a musical overlay, and they play out, and they're kind of choreographed and scripted to the music. Now, the good thing is the music is fucking amazing. Even if you don't like this movie, and even if you don't find a lot of merit in the film, the soundtrack itself is something that lives on. It's its own thing, and it's pretty fucking great, and would probably fit pretty well in a Grand Theft Auto style soundtrack for a video game. Now, Drive is the epitome of new school hip, new school swagger, but at the same time, it is an homage and a celebration of old school manly movies. Just badass, testosterone, awesome filmmaking. One of Drive's greatest strengths is that you have these scenes of cinematic brutality. And those scenes punctuate, these set pieces that are very calm and docile. And on the point of the director, they kind of have this extreme faith in the ability of the audience and the actors to create this world where you can kind of peek behind the curtain. Now, what I mean by that is he kind of lets the scenes play out. You kind of get into the nuance and the emotion between these characters and the events that are going on. And when you have some of these scenes of extreme brutality, it really kind of wakes you up and gets you into the movie. Now, in comparison to other movies, this isn't very violent, but when framed within the greater aspect of the film, these really stand out and kind of, repulse you. Now, speaking of the director, this is one of my favorite new directors. Now, I say new, but really he kind of got his start in the 90s with the Pusher trilogy. If you haven't checked it out, it's kind of a modern Godfather, awesome drug-dealing trilogy of films, all interconnected in their own way, but singular at the same time. So that got him going. And then he made Bronson with Tom Hardy. Now, a lot of people have Tom Hardy on their map because of films like Inception and the upcoming Dark Knight Rises. The fact of the matter is, Tom Hardy will probably never get better than he was in Bronson. I won't say anything about the movie, just check it out. And to a lesser degree, he also did Valhalla Rising with Mads Mikkelsen, which was okay, but I kind of wanted a little bit more from that. And for people that think that Drive is style over substance, I would say watch Valhalla Rising and you'll really get a good example of that. Now, along with the director, you of course have Ryan Gosling. Now, Ryan Gosling is one of those actors that even if you're not fans of his movies, he is awesome in everything he does. And yes, that includes The Notebook. He's kind of building this cinematic world that you can't help but kind of fall in love with the guy. He's picking all of the right films. He has great performances in everything he does. And, he's, of course, eye candy for the ladies. In this film, he's kind of channeling every badass, man of few words actor in history. Charles Bronson, Clint Eastwood, and of course, in this case, Steve McQueen. This is almost a homage to Bullet and those testosterone fuel, pedal to the metal movies that McQueen really loved to do. That was his passion projects. And Gosling could very well be the new McQueen. Along with Gosling, you have Ron Perlman, who's always solid in everything he does, but doesn't have a huge part in this movie. And then you have Albert Brooks, who plays a really just great, nuanced villain in this film. He does everything without showing you anything. And what I mean by that is he manages to be scary, he manages to be intimidating without actually doing a hell of a whole lot. He is a presence in this film, he is a tour de force in this film, and for a comedian to kind of pull this performance is pretty amazing, and I commend him for it. Now on to the not so great parts. First, I would have to say Christina Hendricks. I am not obsessed with her like a lot of people. I don't think she's that attractive. Yes, she has gigantic tits, but I don't find her that attractive. In this movie, I thought she was completely worthless. I like that she got killed. Sorry for the spoilers. But she was not, the eye candy that I think she was supposed to be in this film. Along with that, Carey Mulligan was not that great in this movie. Now, if you've seen Shame, another fantastic movie, you know this girl can act. In Education, Shame, she is wonderful. She's already had an Academy Award nomination. However, in Drive, she does a whole lot of nothing. She is the love interest for the driver. I get that. She has somewhat of a backstory, but other than that, she is a two-dimensional nothing character. And I don't know if that's really to blame the writers or to blame her. She just kind of has this waifish, pixie look to her, and you're supposed to like her, but there's absolutely no reason why you should fall in love with this girl or support the driver's longing for her. Bryan Cranston is also underutilized in this movie, and I think that's a shame. His character, with what time he has, is an interesting one. He's the mentor to the driver. He, likes him. He loves him. There's almost this paternal aspect to their relationship, and he doesn't have a lot of time on the screen. That's not terrible, but that's to say I would like to see more, but wasn't given that. Now, this isn't the fault of the movie, but this film was really poorly advertised. There's almost no driving in Drive. I think a lot of people went into it thinking this was going to be a kind of vanishing point or something like that. There was very little driving. It is not the action-packed movie that a lot of people thought it would be based on the advertisements. And again, not a fault of the movie, but a fault of the advertisers trying to market this as something that it wasn't. I have a feeling had they marketed it differently, that it would have maybe been more successful and a lot of people wouldn't have hated it as much. Something like, do you like mindless dribble? Do you like watching films without any depth or range? Do you like movies to hold your hand, walk you through the entire plot, and beat you in your fucking face hole with every little detail? If so, go watch one of those knuckle-dragging, slack-jawed, limp-dick transporter movies. So, as you can probably tell, I really do like Drive. This is a fantastic little movie. I think everybody should watch it. It's definitely something that does have a lot of style, but if you actually watch it and embrace it and let it kind of take you in, this is a movie that has a whole hell of a lot going on for it. It is iconic, it is just gorgeously shot and framed, and again, it's like this really long, stylized music video that also makes you care about things. It is a phenomenal movie, so go check it out. So I see this film as a litmus test for society. What I mean by that is this should be a mandatory exercise. Upon completion, if you like this movie, then you are a functioning member of society and get to live and breathe and do everything that entails. If you don't like this movie, you should be excommunicated and not allowed to live with anyone in the normal populace. You and your dumb, fuck, idiot friends can all live on some island and talk about dumb movies like Human Centipede 2, or the latest Tim Burton movie, or something like that. While we're at it, I hope you're standing next to a cliff, and I hope an acid truck comes along and knocks you off the cliff. As you're both careening off of this cliff, I hope the acid truck starts spilling acid all over your body. At the same time, I hope it explodes. So not only is your skin melting, but it's charring and burning and just terrible all at the same time. Then I hope at the bottom of the cliff, there are these barbed rocks that you land on, but they don't quite kill you. You're just in extreme pain and agony. And while this is happening, you see a bunch of platypi come on up, and those platypi are really horny. And they fuck out your eyeballs, you stupid goddamn piece of shit. So as you can probably tell, this whole review was a little tongue-in-cheek. That said, Drive is an amazing movie. I do not, however, want anyone to die in an acid truck accident. I'm not even sure if acid trucks exist or if they drive by cliffs, because I would think that would be pretty dangerous. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment on it. Let me know what you thought about Drive. Then again, if you don't like Drive, you're a fucking moron, so I don't want to hear what you say. Favorite it, subscribe if you want to see more. I do make other movie reviews and videos and things like that, so you can check those out up here, down here, whatever. But that's it for me, and I will catch you guys later.